PMG's independence has allowed us to be agile by always being ready to embrace change, always being ready to act on behalf of our customers in terms of what's best, and being open to partnerships when they present themselves, and looking at solutions continually and not being afraid to change direction or change course as fast as the landscape may move, or as fast as the macroeconomic factors may move, or if you look at streaming and how the pandemic affected it, how do we be reactive to consumers, media, as well as the products that are available to clients in terms of where they activate.
You've spoken about the importance of aligning data, measurement, and decision-making more closely. How is PMG thinking about intelligence in CTV today, across everything from planning to optimization?
We're thinking about pulling data and intelligence together across everything, and really by solving for the fragmentation. I think CTV as a landscape, as a consumer product, has presented itself a bit differently in terms of how we plan, buy, and measure and activate against media, and embracing that fragmentation is key to unlocking success there. And part of that is taking that fragmentation, being able to kind of reunify data and insights, find tools that let us see across platforms and across initiatives that ultimately we can bring back, distill, put in the hands of clients and operators, and give them signals, right? Signals that are the basis for decisions, that are the basis for experimentation, and ultimately can be kind of scalers for ultimately business outcomes for clients. So we look at our job as really controlling that chaos and putting it into lenses, whether it's for hands-on keyboard or clients that ultimately make sense and help us make the right decisions that affect business outcomes.
PMG has built a reputation for being an innovation-forward agency. How do you approach testing and adopting new solutions? And what have you learned from being early adopters for initiatives like Harmony Direct?
I think PMG learns a lot from being early adopters. I think one of the things that we've learned the most is that early adoption creates a really good relationship with partners to be able to kind of keep doing that. And I think we've learned to be good partners in providing feedback, understanding that things may not go easily the first time, but we really pride ourselves in being first and having that fulfill a pipeline of innovation for clients. Is that ultimately our partners are there trying to solve needs for the market, and we want to be able to see those, adapt to those, but also shape those, right? Provide that feedback that says, hey, here's what's going to make this just a little bit better, or what works. And I think we found that being a good partner is understanding things may not work out and not holding that, and being able to articulate that value through to our customers and saying, hey, we're gonna test this, and always having that kind of irons in the fire of testing and initiatives and things that develop over time is it's a habit we want to build. And I think our best relationships with both partners and clients have that element of, here's what we're doing, here's that innovation pipeline, and here's what's ultimately affecting the bottom line and driving that kind of the principle we go by is Kaizen, just continual improvement, refining that, and that testing pipeline really does a lot to help solve problems that exist everywhere.
Like so many excellent thoughts. I really appreciate it. But wanted to ask your advice on something.
Yes.
For marketers navigating a fragmented and fast-moving media landscape, as you've detailed, what's your advice for how to lean into independence, intelligence, and innovation in ways that are actually actionable?
Yeah, I think it's being tied to that business outcome, right? I think ultimately that's where, at least for marketers, they're going to start, is that the efficiency and efficacy of that media to affect their business. It starts with solid measurement and an approach to that, but evaluating those decisions in that context and not being afraid to reevaluate those. I think one of the big things that we see is kind of there's a way to over partnerize something, right? And adding more people to the mix or more technology ultimately degrades the the efficacy or the amount of working media dollars out there. So it's a careful balance between what solutions drive effective outcome, that drive a positive ROI for the cost of investment, and how you again manage that innovation pipeline with a real eye on how do we connect this, right? And again, it's harder than a traditional display, mobile video, or programmatic ecosystem that's much more contained or large pools of supply. It requires a lot of work, and I think our strategy is to try and support the technology that makes all that easier, which is evolving, and put that in the hands of marketers to make those decisions easier and to more visualize the impact that media is having ultimately on their business.